Good morning, my dear students. Today we have lecture number 1. The topic of today's lecture is basic concepts of chemistry. In a lecture, we will consider several problems. There are the subject of chemistry, second, simple and complex substance, and third, atom, the molecule and chemical element, and last problem is mole and molar mass. Chemistry is part of natural science that studies of properties of substance and their transformations. Chemical properties of substance are the set of chemical reactions in which it can enter. On slide, we can see substance is a type of matter that has a rest mass. A chemical substance is substance of certain atomic composition. Chemical substance we can divide two forms. There are simple substance and complex substance. Simple substance consists of atoms of the same grade, for example, hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. And complex substance is made up of atoms of several elements. There are water, copper chloride, and sulfur acid. Next slide, we can see examples for substance. For substance give several allotropies types. Allotropy is a phenomenon when one element forms several simple substances. For example, oxygen and carbon give several forms of allotropy. For example, oxygen give oxygen and ozone. Carbon give diamond, fullerene, and graphite forms. For complex substance, give several forms of phenomenon. For example, isomerism. Isomerism is a phenomenon when a substance of the same composition has a different structure. For example, urea and ammonium cyanide. And other types of phenomenon for complex substance. There are color blinds and Berthollides. Atomic molecular teaching. Atomic molecular teaching was established by Lomonosov and Dalton. Atomic molecular teaching consists several concepts. There are first, each element consists of atoms. Second, the atoms of one element are the same. Third, atoms of different elements have different properties. And fourth, atoms of one element don't turn into atoms of other elements as a result of chemical transformations or chemical reactions. And fifth, chemical compounds are formed as a result of the combination of atoms of several elements. And last principle is in the given compound, the relative numbers of atoms of various elements are always constant. Atom. What is atom? Atom is the smallest particle of the simple substance that preserves all its basic chemical properties. a chemical elements is a type of atom with the same number of proton. Chemical element we can give several names. For example, Latin and English. For example, element hydrogen in Latin we can call hydrogen, and in English hydrogen. For example, oxygen in Latin oxygenum, in English oxygen, and for aurum in Latin we can call aurum, and in English cold. A molecule is the smallest particle of the chemical element. In the below we can see several types of chemical molecules, for example ammonia and water. Ions, chemical elements in the water can format ions. Ions are monoatomic of polyatomic particles carrying an electric charge. In ions we can divide to cations and anions. The chemical formula shows several properties, for example qualitative composition and quantitative composition. For example, nitrogen acid, one molecule of nitrogen acid consists of from one atom of hydrogen, one atom of nitrogen, and 3 atoms of oxygen. And for sodium chloride we can say about this situation. For example, this substance can consist from 1 atom of sodium and 1 atom chloride. And on the slide we can see absolute atomic mass. Absolute atomic mass is the mass of the atom expressed in the kilogram or gram. For example, hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon atoms. For relative atomic mass, it is the mass of the atom expressed in atomic units of mass. For example, this value you can calculate from 1 atoms of 12 carbon mass. For example, this value equal to 1.66 multiple 10 minus 27 in degree, kilogram or gram. And other types of concepts is relative molecular mass. Relative molecular mass we can express it such as MR is relative molecular mass is the mass of molecule expressed in atomic unit of molecule. For example, we can see the relative molecular mass of sulfur acid and calcium carboxide. And very important of concepts of chemistry is amount of substance. A mole is amount of substance. This is a mole. A mole is a certain number of structural units of substance, atoms, molecules, and ions. mole of any substance contains the same number of particles. For example, Avogadro's constant, or Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number equal to 602 multiple 1023 in degree. One molecule of Kp contains 6.02 multiple 1023 in degree. If you that's all. If you haven't any question about this lecture, I will finish this lecture.